Healthcare, don't be fooled that Joe Lieberman is going to hold up healthcare. I am sure Joe Lieberman has already cut his deal, just like the senator from Louisiana took her $300 million for her vote. They will pass healthcare. It is their signature bill. It is what they will claim as their reward for winning that election. And if they don't do that, they will be a failure within their own base. They will pass healthcare, and they'll probably pass it by the end of the week. And it is a major assault, or it sets up a major assault on individual liberties, because once government takes over the healthcare system, they also insert themselves in the individual decision-making about their health. I mean, we've seen it already with the smoking ban that the Michigan legislature passed last week, and other measures to discourage smoking. I mean, I fully expect them to put me on a scale and take away my Twinkies. They will decide your health care choices. You can count on that. They will decide what treatments you're worthy to receive, when you can receive them, and who you receive them from. This is a first step down a long, slippery slope. They will not quit till we have nationalized health care, and the sort of rationing, long waits, poor service that you see in Canada, England, and other places with this system. That's the end goal, and they will not give up here. And there's no going back. No matter what happens in the election next year, there's no going back. Remember, elections have consequences, and we're going to pay for this 2008 election by losing control of our health care. And it's going to cost you a whole lot of money. It's going to cost you a lot more than you're paying now, either directly through higher insurance policy premiums or indirectly through the cost that's been attached to business being passed on to the consumer. You know, one thing you should remember, you pay for everything. Whether it's a tax on business, a fee to business, that ultimately finds its way down to you. You pay for everything, and you will pay big time for this bill. And it also will mark the first time in our history that there's been a requirement for an individual to buy a service, to pay a fee for the right to live in this nation. This individual mandate requiring everyone to buy a health insurance policy or pay a fine is the first of its kind in this nation's history. It won't be the last. Once they open that door, they will keep walking through it. I think these things are not both the environmental movement, health movement, other new examples of an old problem in this country where the public is so easily convinced to sign away its individual freedoms, to sign away their rights in the name of the greater good. We saw it with the drug war. I mean, the drug war just has trampled over individual rights, has stepped all over the Constitution. Such things as illegal search and seizure, now legal, property forfeiture, wiretapping, what have you. And we accepted it because we thought we could rid this country of drugs. We thought there was a greater good involved. 30 years later, all of these intrusions on our liberties, drug use unabated, drug trafficking unabated, all that's changed is we have fewer rights, fewer liberties. Again, you can expect the same pattern to be followed on health and environment. Our personal choices will be limited. Our personal freedoms will be limited. That space that's carved out in the Constitution to protect the individual from the government will grow smaller and smaller. There's a silver lining here, and the silver lining is 2010. Because I think I get this real sense, and seeing the size of this crowd tonight gives me great encouragement that people recognize what's going on. They see this assault for what it is, and they're saying, I am not going to stand still for this. I've got a poll just out, hasn't been made public yet, by Mitchell Research. And he asked, let me find this. He asked people this question. You remember the old movie Network where Peter Finch, the actor, went nuts and said, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. He called people on the phone and he asked them, do you agree with this statement? I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. How many of you would raise your hand saying you agree with that statement? You reflect pretty much the poll. 81% of Republicans and independents said that. And even 42% of Democrats said that. In all, two-thirds of voters, Michigan voters, said they're mad as hell and they don't want to take this anymore. That's good news for 2010, when in this state, we have a chance to turn out every rascal in every elected office in this state. Another poll that's just out, I'll write about this Sunday, that's when it'll be made public. A year ago, after Republicans took their second straight shellacking in this state, the big question was, how does the Republican Party revive in Michigan? Nobody seemed to have an answer. And it turns out the answer was Barack Obama and Jennifer Granholm. Because today, and I'm not going to read too much of this, but today, Republicans are leading, people who say they'll vote Republican in U.S. House and state legislative races in Michigan outnumber Democrats by 2% in this poll, compared to the Democrats outnumbering them 13% in last month's poll, and something in the order of 20-some% back in January. There's been a real shift in attitudes in this state about the elected leadership. This is good news because it suggests that people are ready, once again, to change. That they see what's happening in this country and they don't like it. Now, I don't interpret that so much as people running to the Republican Party, and I think it's a big caution for Republicans to not read it that way, as much as it is running from these radical Democratic policies and the failed leadership we've seen in this state of Democratic politicians. Republicans, just like Democrats, have to listen to what people are saying. They have to pay attention to the folks in this room when they say, we don't want you to spend more than we give you, and we don't want to give you any more to spend. They have to listen when folks like the people in this room say, every dollar we earn is precious to us. We're not giving it to you to waste.